Did I say 293?
Yes.
Okay. And on line 22, you were asked a question, the night before you were due to meet up, did you have a heated discussion on the telephone with Miss Heard about what was happening with James Franco, the scene she was doing with James Franco? Answer, I do not recall, but it is highly likely. Did I read that right?
In fact, I'm not sure where you are.
Okay. Day
Sorry.
2, page 293. It's on page 32 of the document.
Line 22, I think, is the issue.
Page 32, line 22. Thank you, Your Honor.
Line 22.
Line
Okay.
22 on page 32.
Yes.
Too many numbers. Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
that's right. Thank you.
question, the night before you were due to meet up, did you have a heated discussion on the telephone with Miss Heard about what was happening with James Franco, the scene she was doing with James Franco? Answer, I do not recall, but it is highly likely. Did I read that right?
You did.
And you suspected that Amber was having an affair with James Franco, correct? That was the reason for your argument.
Yeah, yes.
And when you got on the plane, you considered that she was also being judgmental toward you because she believed that you were inebriated and under the influence of drugs, correct?
That was a constant.
And I'm talking about this particular plane flight.
Well,
You consider that she was being judgmental toward you because she believed you were inebriated and under the influence of drugs when you got on this plane, correct?
Yes,
And at some point on the flight, you ended up sleeping on the bathroom floor, right?
I did.
You testified to that yesterday,
I
correct?
did, yes, sir.
And when you landed, you were quite ill when you landed in Los Angeles, correct?
I don't recall being quite ill. It's possible. I don't know what you're referring to.
Let's
Maybe you
take a
could
look
take me
at
there.
page. Yeah, sure. Let's take a look at page 313 of your UK transcript, please.
3:30.
It's on page 37 of the document.
May we approach Your Honor?
3:30.
All right,
I'm
please
sorry.
approach for a second.
Mr. Depp, do you have page 313 in front of you?
I do, sir.
Okay. Can you just read, you can read to yourself, the page 313, line 14, that starts with the word were. Okay. And then read that question and answer.
Yes, sir.
Does that refresh your recollection that you were quite ill when you landed in Los Angeles?
Yes, but it doesn't refer to me being ill on the plane.
Sure. Okay. We'll get to the plane ride in a few minutes.
Oh, I thought we just did.
Let's turn to Exhibit 236, please. Defendant's Exhibit.
Sorry, I've got a mess going on over here.
Yeah.
It's on the screen.
Oh, and I don't have a mess. So excuse me.
These are text messages that you sent to Amber on May 25th, 2014, the day after that plane flight, correct?
Okay. Yes, okay, yes.
Your Honor, move for the admission of Exhibit 236 and ask for permission to publish with the identifiers redacted.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, if you could just redact those identifiers. All right, 236 in evidence with the redactions. You can
And
publish.
thank you.
Okay.
Blow up the top email, please. And in this email to Amber, the day after this plane flight, you write her and you say, once again, I find my place, start over. Once again, I find myself in a place of shame and regret. Of course, I am sorry. I really don't know why or what happened, but I will never do it again. I want to get better for you and for me. I must. My illness somehow crept up and grabbed me. I can't do it again. I can't live like that again. And I know you can't either. I must get better, and I will. For us both, starting today, I love you. Again, I am so sorry, so sorry. I love you and feel so bad for letting you down. Yours. Did I read that right?
You did.
And let's pull up Exhibit 245 one more time, which has been admitted into evidence this morning, Your Honor.
Correct. With the ID, which is ID identification.
And Mr. Depp, I know that we've seen this before this morning, but your email that I just read to you to Ms. Hurd, or your text, was from May 25th, 2014. 5 days later, you text your good friend Paul Bettany, and you tell him that you had drank all night before you picked up Amber to fly to LA. You tell him that you had had no food for days, powders, which is cocaine, right? Powders is cocaine, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Half a bottle of whiskey, 1,000 Red Bull and vodkas, pills, 2 bottles of Champers on plane, and then you write, what do you get? An angry, aggro engine in a fucking blackout, screaming obscenities and insulting any fuck who got near. I'm done. I am admittedly too fucked in the head to spray my rage at the one I love.
I
For
see
little
that.
reason as well. I'm too old to be that guy, but pills are fine. Did I read that right?
You did.
Now, the 2 bottles, you can leave that up. The 2 bottles of champagne on the plane, that was about, when you wrote 2 bottles of champagne on the plane, that was about the plane ride from Boston to LA, correct?
Yes, it comes just after 1,000 cans of Red Bull.
And at least parts of that plane flight, you were in a blackout, right?
There's
There's no reason you'd tell Paul Bettany that you were in a blackout if it wasn't true, correct?
there are again, when I write something, when I write a text, especially if I'm in a particularly impassioned place, it's a canvas, it's a painting.
Right.
You
And
choose your
appreciate
colors.
that. That wasn't my question, sir. My question was very simple.
Okay.
Would you agree that at least on parts of that plane flight, you were in a blackout?
No, I wouldn't agree that I was in a blackout. I
Okay,
would
let's
say
look
there's
at
a
page
difference between
333
a
of your-
blackout and when you're on opiates.
Let's look at page 333 of your transcript, please.
333.
This is day 2. This is from the UK trial.
Yes, we seem to be there a lot. 333.
Your Honor, may we approach, please?
Okay.
Do you see that page, Mr. Depp?
333, yes, I do.
Okay. And you see on line 8, you were asked a question, but parts of that flight are blacked out. Answer, apparently, but yes, apparently that is what I am saying to Mr. Bettany. Question, yes. Is there any reason why you would say that to Mr. Bettany if it were not true? Answer, probably not. Did I read that right?
You did?
And you would agree that on that flight you were very drunk and that you had taken drugs either before or during the flight, correct?
I know that I knew that I was going to have a very ugly, I was going to end up with a very ugly situation with Amber, so
Mr.
I
Depp,
doubled up
with respect,
the,
trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that on that flight, you were very drunk and you had taken drugs either before or during or both.
Objection compound.
All right, sustained.
You would agree that you were very drunk on that flight, correct?
I do not agree that I was very drunk on that flight.
And you would agree that you had taken drugs either before or during that flight, correct?
I had taken a double dose of the roxycodone, which is different than a blackout.
But you don't agree that you were very drunk?
I don't recall drinking a whole. You don't need to drink a whole lot when you're on those things. You don't have time.
You just testified you weren't drunk on the flight, okay?
I don't recall being drunk. No.
All right, let's look at page 335 of your UK testimony.
Okay, Mr. Roddenberry. Where would you like to start?
Line 11, please. You were asked a question. I want to make sure it is quite clear what you were saying about the Boston plane incident. You were very drunk. You had taken drugs either before or during or both. Do you agree with that? Answer, sure. For the purposes of getting through this, let's say yes. Everything you have said, I agree. Did
Yes,
I read that right?
You did. I was caving in from.
That's
I know
my
you
question
won't.
was simply, did I read
Yes,
that correctly, Mr. Depp?
I understand.
Now, on Can we pull up Exhibit 243, please? Actually, you know what? Let's go to Exhibit 221. Your Honor, this is a recording, and I'd be happy to read. We're going to play three excerpts from it.
Okay, and there's no objections to the entire audio recording coming in, is that correct?
May we approach? I would just like to know what it is first.
Okay.
Your Honor, we would offer the full Exhibit 221 into evidence with the following three excerpts to be played. The first is the start of the audio through 1 minute, just the first full minute, and then 2:50 through 3:20, 2 minutes and 50 seconds through 3:20, and then 9:30 through 10 minutes.
All right.
Please.
So 221 in its entirety in evidence, but you play those excerpts, got it.
That's your voice making those moaning sounds. Sound like an animal in pain, right, Mr. Depp?
That's exactly what I said before. Yes, that is sounds like a pained animal, and
Let's
it
go to
is my voice.
250, please. And then let's go to play 9:30, please. Mr. Depp, do you know who the male voice is who at around 9:41 says, "No, I'm going to stay with this fucking idiot in case he..."